everyone, welcome back. My name's Diana, aka Bookish Di, and we managed to survive January, all 78 days of it. This is pretty exciting. So because it's a new month, that means a new TBR, and I have decided to continue my trend of trying to read a lot of books that I own. So most of these books on my TBR are going to be books that I own. I'm also trying to combine a couple of things. So February is African American History Month here in the States. So I'm going to be trying to read a number of African American authors. And it's also Fem slash February. Wow, I can talk. So I'm also going to try and read a couple of FF works. So starting off, my TBR is Dread Nation by Justyna Ireland. This is the first of her alternate history zombie novels. This was released last year. I really enjoyed Justyna Ireland's Spark of the Resistance that she did for Journey to the Rise of Skywalker, and I had picked this book up a few months ago when it was on ebook sale. So I've heard good things about it. I'm very excited to read it and hopefully pick up the next book, which is dropping later this year. It's called The Deathless Divide, I want to say. But anyway, the book centers on a young woman who is mixed race, and once the zombies rose up, young black and brown girls were put into schools where they were trained to fight zombies. Hey, Luke. And so this is her story and one of her classmates' story. And, whoa, sorry, cat, you knocked it over. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited to get to it and hopefully enjoy it. Next up on my list is Escaping Exodus by Nikki Dryden. This is a standalone sci-fi novel set on a generation ship. I really enjoyed Nikki Dryden's first novel, which was Prey of the Gods, which was just bonkers, but in a really good way. It was like very it's hard to describe like the genre just because like it combines a lot of different things, but I really enjoyed it. I wanted the premise of this one sounded really interesting in terms of like it being, you know, space opera generational ship looking at generational trauma and harm, and yeah, this sounds really interesting, and the cover is gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to it. Next is Queen of the Conquered by Kayson Calendar. This is the first novel in their Caribbean-inspired fantasy series. It centers on a woman, Sigourney Rose, whose entire family was slaughtered by her island nation's colonizers, and so she, using her powers, decides to use the system to her advantage and try and get to the top and free the islands that way, making her complicit in the colonizers' subjugation of her people. I read the first chapter, and it's definitely going to be dark, but I think it's going to be good. One of my favorite writers, Kate Elliott, has been talking it up a lot. This came out last year from Orbit Books, and hopefully it will be good. Next is contemporary YA. It is called Stars and the Blackness Between Them by, I'm very sorry for this author, Hunauda Petrus. It is LGBT, so it's queer, and it centers on a young girl who, she and her father moved to Minneapolis, and she meets another young girl, and they fall in love, and I've heard this is absolutely beautiful. The cover, again, is gorgeous. I'm just waiting for my hold to come in from the library. Next is a carryover from last month. It is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I am going to reread it this month so I can get to the rest of the Broken Earth series. Luke, please calm down, kid. Anyway, I don't have much more to say on this than what I said last month, but I will do it. It will happen eventually. Next is Triston Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kwame Mobilio. This is part of the Rick Riordan Presents line. This dropped late last year. I really love the cover. The premise sounds really interesting. It's about a young African-American boy who goes to spend his summer with his grandparents, and it combines African-American mythology with West African mythology. And there's a sequel coming out next year as well. This won a Caldecott Honors Award, or was named to the Caldecott Honors list. So good stamp of approval. And like I said, the cover looks really nice. And apologies for my cat being a brat again. Next is We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia. This is a YA fantasy. It is set in a Latinx-inspired world, and it deals with revolution, gender politics, queer leads, and the sequel comes out next year. One of my friends, Bria, read this and really enjoyed it, and I had picked it up, and I'm hoping to get around to reading it this month before the sequel drops. Next on my TBR is a short story anthology. It is New Sons, original speculative fiction by people of color. It is edited by Nikki, who is one of the co-runners of Writing the Other. I've read one of Nikki Schall's novels, Everfair, which was amazing. And this anthology I picked up just because it looked nice at my local indie. And it has a really great list of contributors, including Rebecca Roanhorse, who I adore. So I'm going to try and maybe read a story every day and see how that goes. Yeah, because I haven't been reading a whole lot of short fiction, so I'm kind of hoping to change that this year. Next is Storm Song by C.L. Polk. This is coming out later this month. It is the sequel to Witchmark, and it is centered on Grace, who is the sister of Witchmark's protagonist, Miles. It's dealing with the consequences of what happened in Witchmark, and her romance with an investigative journalist. Witchmark was one of my top books from last year, and Storm Song has been on my TBR ever since I finished. And I've had it pre-ordered, even though it was pushed back. So yeah, I'm really excited to get my hands on that. It's probably going to be one of those where I drop everything that I'm reading and start reading it right away, because I'm looking forward to it that much. And last but not least on my TBR is Riot Baby by Tochi Onyebuchi. And this is a new novella out from Tor.com. It is set in near future United States. It deals with structural racism, the prison industrial complex. Jenny over at Reading the N read it and really liked it. She said it was, very powerful, and it has a good list of blurbs, and I trust Jenny's judgment. So when I saw that my library had it ordered, I grabbed it right away, and hopefully I can read it this month. So that is my February TBR. I know it's a little ambitious, but I'm hopeful that I can read or at least a majority of it while I'm out and about this month. So yeah, are any of you doing either February TBR based on Fem/February or African American History Month? Do any of the books that I talked about sound good? Or if you just want to let me know that you enjoyed this video, leave a emoji in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.